clicking this one? Why is this thing so slow? Ugh!
Notable figures in history that came from poverty. In this episode, I'm sharing with you 2 figures in history that had their own rags to riches story. No, not from the freaking TV show back in the 80s. We don't necessarily have our own fairy godmother, but I'm going to show you these 2 figures that did have their own success stories from hard work. Stay tuned! Our first subject, introducing Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln is one of the most respected leaders around the world. He was born in Hodgenville, Kentucky, in a log cabin to a carpenter. He went on to become U.S.'s 16th president and led the Civil War, putting an end to the monstrous slavery. On September 22, 1862, Abraham Lincoln issued his preliminary Emancipation Proclamation, in which he declared that as of January 1, 1863, all slaves in states in rebellion against the Union shall be thenceforward and forever free. Introducing our next subject, Steve Jobs. Jobs was given away for adoption by his biological parents. Since his higher education was costing his foster parents their life savings, he dropped out of college. He used to return Coke bottles for money and live on free meals at the Hare Krishna temple. From a hippie, Jobs went on to become the CEO of Apple Incorporated. His innovation changed the world rapidly and completely. The start of Apple had very humble beginnings. Jobs started Apple with a mutual friend named Steve Wozniak, also known as Woz. Steve Jobs used his parents' garage as the home base for Apple. Steve came up with the name Apple because he really liked the Beatles, and Woz made fun of him about it. It later became the symbol of innovation and learning anyway. But in fact, Jobs was inspired a lot by Dylan, or he listened to Dylan a lot. Bob Dylan, that is. With fellow co-worker and friend Bill Fernandez, Jobs and Woz were able to sell their Apple I, the first model, to Byte Shop, where the purchase order was the one that sealed the deal. Jobs was fired from his own company, Apple. He was fired because Pepsi executive John Scully told the board that he was far too young. This was after Jobs recruited him. Jobs then started another project creating the next computer, but sales were limited because it was too expensive. Apple purchased Next stock, resulting in Steve returning to Apple.
And one last thing.
Steve Jobs felt that the iPhone was an extension to oneself and has, in fact, revolutionized the music industry. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Here's an example of a couple different books that you can peruse through and get some helpful tips to help yourself become financially independent. And there's a wide variety of choices. To recommend one, you would have to just find what works best for yourself. And the other way to get around this is check out the local library.
Now to start, you hold the keys to your own success. Check this out, food for thought. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory in psychology comprising a 5-tier model of human needs, often depicted as hierarchical levels within a pyramid. Maslow stated that people are motivated to achieve certain needs and that some needs take precedence over others. Our most basic need is for physical survival, and this will be the first thing that motivates our behavior. Once that level is fulfilled, the next level up is what motivates us, and so on and so forth. Remember to use logic and reason when planning your best strategy. My tips for financial independence would be to keep self-disciplined, educate yourself with books, and also work on your credit. Write a list and stick to it. That list of goals help you focus. And I believe that if you focus and you focus on one financial goal, and all your might and all your energy will go into it, and you can achieve it. Just believe in yourself. You got this. You got this. Educate yourself. Education, education, education. Education is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Kind of like those commercials that you would see back in the 80s and 90s. The more you know.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. And keep watching, stay tuned. We're going to have a whole heck of a lot more in store for you. And just a sneak peek, well, let's just say, once I reach 100 subscribers, I'll be doing a Mad Lib contest. Stay tuned for details. All right, over now.
No, Whoopi, no! You knocked over my house!